Welcome back to Cable 10 Live. I'm your host, Ginella Massa. Thanks so much for being with us. If you're one of our younger viewers, it may be difficult for you to think about the end of your life, and what I'm talking about is preparing a will. But the Ontario Lung Association is running a campaign to help local residents to do just that, and they say that it's never too early. So I'm joined by two guests, Anthony Alfred, who's the VP of Marketing at the Ontario Lung Association. Thank you so much for being with us. And Larry Plenner, you're a volunteer lawyer with the Will campaign, and that's through your firm, Campbell Plenner Associates here in Mississauga. Thank you both for being with us.
Thanks, Ginella. Nice to be here.
I'm going to start with you, Anthony, because to me this is a very interesting way to do a fundraiser, first of all, to encourage people to do their will and to collect the money for that towards the Lung Association. Yeah, where did this idea come from?
It's a great question, Ginella. It's actually been running for 11 years. The Will campaign, and in fact I think it's actually a beautiful union of two life must-dos. Must-dos meaning the first, of course, is preparing a will, which Larry's here and has been a great contributor to the Lung Association and the program. So preparing a will, I was just before coming on air with you, I saw that it's startling that just only north of 50% of Canadians, in fact, have a signed will. So certainly from a life must-do standpoint, preparing a will, and Larry will talk about that in a sec, is very important. The second part of the life must-do is breathing. And that's what the Ontario Lung Association, that's what all of us is all about. In fact, every day, on average, we take 20,000 breaths. So I find it's a beautiful union with this program that's now been running for 11 years because it's bringing together, of course, the important life must-do of preparing a will, and of course supporting lung health research. And the Lung Association, of course, a legendary organization going back, actually, the Canadian Lung Association from the 1900s. And I'm just proud to represent this organization. We have a number of programs and initiatives from air quality, respiratory, as well as, of course, research in lung health that's so critically important. And, we're in the business to save lives, and this is a great program to do that.
So you said 50%. That is a huge number.
For wills,
people do not have a will. I'm in that number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I've got to talk to Larry here about, if I don't have kids, if I'm not married, if I don't have assets, things like that. You said, age of majority, you're able to do a power of attorney. 16 years old.
Yes, for a power of attorney.
You can do a power of attorney.
Yep.
Why would someone who is in high school, who's a young person, who's maybe just starting out in their career, why would they even, need to think about doing that?
It's a what if, why not? If you're walking on the street today and somebody comes up the sidewalk and hits you and you're in a hospital, who's going to make your decisions? Who's going to say what you want, what you don't want? If you don't have a power of attorney, it then becomes a battle. If somebody's incapacitated, can't make up their own mind, and you have to have someone appointed, you've got to go to court or go through the public guardian. Average application for that, around $4,000 to get someone appointed with a plan of care. Wow. A power of attorney, you're talking a few dollars, you put it away and forget about it for 20 years.
So this is not just about money, because I think when people think about wills, they think about who am I giving my things to, right? Who is my house going to go to? Who is my car going to go to? But it's about, decision making for me as well. And I guess that's important for young folks who maybe, like I mentioned, aren't married or don't have kids. Who do they want to be that person for them?
Exactly. The law, if you should die, the law sets out a pecking order for a young person who would go to their parents. If their parents aren't there, would go to brothers and sisters. They may not want that to happen. You have the ability, the right to say whatever you've earned, whatever is yours, you can within reason distribute it as you feel appropriate. If you don't, the government doesn't take it, but they have rules setting out exactly what's to happen with everything you have.
And, I think maybe with young people, we think we're so immortal and we don't like to think about, these kinds of things. How difficult can it be to have that conversation about, death or the what if situation? Do you think we kind of need to remove that stigma a little bit?
How many youngsters fantasize? What if? What happens? What if this should happen? If they're thinking of that already, why not take care of it? Do a simple document, get it done, put it away. Yeah, it's sad, but oftentimes I'll get, especially with the Lung Association, calls that someone is in the hospital. I had a call this morning, a gentleman is bedbound at home. He has severe cancer and was worried now And as priest said, get a will. So I got called and went up and took instructions and did a will. Why wait that long? Why wait until it's urgent? Why not do it when you have the time? You can sit, reflect, take your time, get it done, put it away, and don't even think about it.
That's right, and I think you're right about the point that we wait till we're in an urgent situation, and now we've got to make the tough choices, and we've got so many things that we're thinking about that this is maybe the last thing I have time to really kind of make that important call.
Yeah,
right?
and the lung association wills are very inexpensive. You're talking very little in the way of money. It's done. It's donated to a good cause.
Right, and that's a good point, too, because this is a way for you to give to charity, and you're actually getting quite a deal by doing this. I think I saw the number was $100 to do the will.
Yeah, it's a full donation back to the Lung Association, and the Lung Association's very lucky to have champions just like Larry that are out in communities just like that, like here within Peel.
And I say I'm just one of many lawyers that volunteer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got right now in the GTA West alone, right in the community, we've got 15 lawyers that are committed to the program, and certainly programs like this tonight, what we're doing is giving an opportunity to provide and promote some more awareness for what's happening for it and the impact, of course, that we're making with the program. It's been around for 11 years.
Do you think that, people are surprised when they do it? How simple it is, how easy it is? It maybe seems a little bit daunting to them, and I've got to do my will, and they've put it off, and they haven't addressed it. Do you think that the people are surprised, or tell us what the reaction is?
It's a standard reaction. It was that simple?
Yeah.
Because normally to discuss with me, a couple will spend 20 minutes to half an hour.
Wow.
And then it'll take 2 or 3 days to prepare it. They come in, read it. It's a complex legal document. We go through it. It takes 20 minutes. They sign it. And I say, put it away and don't look at it for 5 years, and then look at it and see if it still works. And if it does, put it away for another 5 years.
And, you just mentioned putting away and looking at it back. If you have done a will, when is the appropriate time to kind of take a step back and look at what you've done and reassess? Is there a time marker, or should you be waiting for certain milestones, having a kid or getting married, things like that?
Well, certain things change a will automatically. If you get married, any will you did is automatically revoked. It's time to do a new one. Any will that I do for a couple, I ask them, unless there's some reason not to, I automatically include children. That spouse, if they're not there, children. And then we worry about the third step if they have no kids. So as soon as a couple get married, if they're thinking of doing wills, it's a wise decision, and we cover their children automatically, set up child trusts, set up trustees, set up guardians, and it's all done whether there are children there or not. And then you don't have to change your will until there's something that alters in your life that says, what I did then doesn't work. I do get people coming in saying, I did this 15 years ago, look at it please. I say, it's what you want, it's fine, put it away.
Well, this is a really important conversation. I'm learning so much, and we are going to continue this conversation here after the break. Stay with us here on Cable 10 Live. We have much more coming up after this. Welcome back to Cable 10 Live. I'm your host, Ginella Massa. Thanks so much for being with us this evening. I've been in conversation with Anthony Alfred, the VP of Marketing at the Ontario Lung Association, and Larry Plenner, who's a volunteer lawyer for the Will campaign through his firm, Campbell Plenner Associates in Mississauga. Thank you both for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
And if you've been listening, or if you're just joining us, we've been talking a little bit about the Will campaign, because the Ontario Lung Association has launched this campaign to encourage folks to do up their will as early as possible, and we've learned a lot this evening. So I want to turn the focus a little bit more on the Ontario Lung Association and about the work that you do. I know that smoking is kind of the one thing that people think about when they think about the Lung Association, but you guys deal with more than just that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, the Lung Association is a legendary and historic organization. It's one of Canada's largest, oldest and largest health-related charities, so in terms of promotion and promoting health promotion. And you're right. I think, a lot of viewers and people who think about lung disease, they have a, perhaps a narrow view when they think about it. They think it's a result of smoking, but radon is one great example. Radon is a odorless and gas that can come into the walls of your home and actually impact lung health. In fact, 16% of lung cancers are attributed to radon gas. So The Lung Association is taking, of course, a strong position on this. We've had partnerships, we spoke about it in the first segment, a partnership with home improvement guru Mike Holmes to really raise awareness for the issue of radon as one example. So that's air quality under the bigger umbrella of air quality. Of course, there's smoking cessation and intervention programs that we have. COPD, cardio obstructive pulmonary disease, is the leading cause of hospitalization in this country. And as I mentioned, it's not all attributed just to smoking. So that research that the organization conducts, in fact, we're just introducing a new national fundraising research campaign called Breathing as One. And it's really to support life-saving research. We're trying to make, as a nation, more breathing breakthroughs. So it's important for us, with this campaign, is to bring together donors, patients, and funders, and help us as a connective raise the voice for patients, those who are impacted by lung disease, and help create more innovation in the field of lung research. So we're very lucky to have a number of stakeholders who are committed to the cause, and I'm just delighted to be with the organization.
And I wanted to bring up one that you had mentioned before the break, and you talked about asthma as well as
respiratory,
something. And so, I'm sure there are so many people who have children, and even people who have adults who deal with asthma. We had talked a little bit on the break about having access to puffers in school, because that has been an issue in the news. Tell us a little bit about what the regulations are around that and some of the work that you're doing with that.
Well, I can tell you that the Lung Association is actively involved. In fact, as we speak, going before the provincial government is the second reading of a bill called Ryan's Law. And that bill, actually, it's very close to the heart of the Lung Association and a particular MPP, Jeff Urich. Ryan Gibbons was a 12-year-old, I believe, student, and he had trouble accessing his puffer, and unfortunately, he died as a result of that. So.
Right. From what I understood is that they didn't allow him, because he was a minor, to carry his puffer on him or to administer it himself, and so they kept it in the office.
They had locked it up.
And as a result, he had an asthma attack on the school playground.
That's right.
And didn't get back in time.
That's right. So the Lung Association has been very proactive in terms of what policies, procedures that we need to create some better coordination and formality as it relates to schools and how they handle such a a serious problem such as asthma, but obviously making sure that the kids who suffer with asthma, I mentioned the 13%, that they do have access to, of course, doing all the things as it relates to homework and play that they can do just regularly like anybody else. So Ryan's Law is something that you'll be seeing in the media a lot, and the Lung Association has been working very closely with MPP Urich, and also Sandra Gibbons, who's been just a tremendous ambassador for lung health. So that's very good that you picked up on that.
Well, when you look at some of the work that you do, you've mentioned what's kind of the bigger focus? Is it more research? Is it more education? Is it more legislation? Or is it kind of all three of those tied in together?
I would say it's all the above, but I must tell you that in order for us to make bigger breathing breakthroughs, it's important that I'm talking about public sector partnerships, private sector partnerships, come together on building more innovative research to support lung health. I had mentioned the Breathing as One campaign. breathingasone.ca is the website. It provides a tremendous amount of reasons why innovation for lung research is so critically important. As I said at the outset, the organization's in the business of saving lives, and so we work very closely with the public sector. We have a tremendous relationship and partnership with the Ontario government. We have an Ontario Lung Health Alliance, which actually is a wonderful union of public sector partners and private sector partners who come together for the good of an action plan for lung health in this province. So I would say all of the above that you just mentioned.
They're all
And they're all
intertwined.
they're all intertwined. Yeah.
And so we've talked about the Will campaign. We've talked about the Ryan's Law. But I'm sure there are so many other campaigns and initiatives that you guys have going on throughout the year.
Yeah, well, actually, it's very timely because, in fact, this month, November, is Lung Month. Lung Month 2014 is being celebrated right across the country, but in communities just like this in Peel. So we have a number of initiatives, whether it be walk-in spirometry clinics. It's to actually test lung function. So spirometry tests are done and conducted in a number of the hospitals in the Greater Toronto Area. We have a number of events that, of course, celebrate World COPD Day. We have a Radon Action Month, and in fact, earlier today, we were actually in another part of the GTA at Toronto City Hall. We were with the Deputy Mayor, Norm Kelly, to have a really great celebration for lung health, a flag-raising ceremony for the Lung Association. So, yeah, a number of things that are going on during the month of November, and we encourage all the viewers, in fact, to check out our website at on.lung.ca for more information.
I want to bring it back to what we talked about at the top of this segment. Is we talked about smoking and the fact that that typically was the one thing that people attached to the Lung Association. But I think, well, first of all, do you think attitudes have changed so much over the years that we still need to address smoking as an issue, or has it kind of gone away as one of the big things that you guys deal with?
Oh no, it hasn't gone away. Absolutely. Smoking still is a primary reason as to why someone can develop lung disease, but it's not the only thing. And I think that's part of the bigger conversation. I've always said to the team at the Lung Association is, how do we breathe bolder? How do we talk about breathing in a more expansive way so people have an understanding that it's not just attributed to smoking, but clearly we've talked about it in this segment. Air quality, respiratory programs, whether you're a child, an adult, or a senior, breathing impacts everybody. So, but absolutely no, the smoking interventions.
We've seen so much legislation and things over the years when it comes to packaging, when it comes to smoking in public places, when it comes to things like that. We've seen a shift in the way that we regulate smoking and the attitudes around it. So I wondered if that has kind of changed the work that you guys have done over the years, or if you still find that there's much to be done in that area.
Oh, there's still much to be done in the area. I'm thinking of one program that the Lung Association developed in partnership with Good Life being one of the partners. It was actually a Quit and Get Fit program. So it was a very practical way to look at interventions in not in a terribly aggressive way to help someone who's actually want to take the steps to improve their lung health. So there was more than just the quitting smoking aspect, but it was talking about it, like I said, breathing bolder, talking about lung health in a bigger way and getting healthy. So hence the partnership with Good Life, and so that was a program, Quit and Get Fit, that we were just delighted to deliver, and saw some results out of it as well too.
And I have to bring this up because there's been some controversy in the news over e-cigarettes, and there's very little that we know about them, right? We've heard some municipalities passing legislation to not allow it on city property or to treat it the same as cigarettes, but it's still in the very early stages of understanding what the impacts are, understanding what the health impacts are. Is this something that's on your guys' radar, that you're starting to think about, that you're starting to look at? Where are you guys at with that?
Absolutely. It is absolutely on our radars, and in fact, there's been some studies that have sort of linked what's in e-cigarettes, in fact, are carcinogens as well too. So from our standpoint, it's thinking about, like I said, it's youth that are impacted and affected by what they see, and sometimes culture and habit, and the way that it's presented has a tremendous effect on influence. And so from a Lung Association standpoint, I mean, we're in the business of creating healthy lives. And I think that's a good start to look at it. So.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I know that we're definitely going to be looking at waiting for research and to see what we can really make some decisions as to what
Yes.
we as society want to do when it comes to e-cigarettes. Let's bring it back to part of the reason why we were here was to talk about the Will campaign, because we are getting close to the end of the hour here. Remind us if there are people who do want to get involved in the Will campaign and want to take advantage of the great price point that is attached to this and do this really important step, how can they do that?
Yeah, great service in the community from people like Larry for a great cause, and that's lung health research. And so they can visit us online at on.lung.ca, or they can contact us at 1-888-344-LUNG, and they'll be connected to more information on how to connect with great lung champions just like Larry, who are doing it in communities in Peel. So we're just delighted.
And Larry, if you give someone who's watching, one piece of information or one reason why they should do this, what do you say?
Peace of mind.
Fantastic.
Why worry about something that's so simple to take care of when you just do it and put it away?
Fantastic. Thank you both so much for being with me and for sharing some really valuable information, and we wish you best of luck on your campaign. Thank you so much for being with us here on Cable 10 Live. Thanks for watching this evening, and be sure to join us again tomorrow night. My name is Ginella Massa. Good night.